Hello everyone. This is a video about memory cards really. Sorry that I've not made any videos recently, but I've been working, so I hadn't had a lot of time to do a new video, but I thought I'd do one on memory cards, in particular buying genuine ones and what you need to look for to spot fake ones. But before we move on to that, I just wanted to talk about the various devices out there, and hopefully this video will be helpful. Now obviously you've got a standard, this is a SanDisk 4GB USB, quite popular and does everything you need it to do. Here I have what is basically a USB card reader. So you can pick these up off eBay for next to nothing, and doesn't matter whether they're genuine or fake ones because they do the same thing. It's not a big issue. You just pop your memory card in there like so, connect it to your computer, and you can download whatever you want. It'll take full-size memory cards, as well as you can fit in the small micro SD cards in the adapters like that, and they work fine, no problems. I wanted to talk about a little bit of an experience I had some years ago. I came across this memory card, which is a Lexar professional card. I thought it was the real deal. For some reason it stopped working, and only recently did I decide to contact the company, and they told me this card is a fake. And at the time it cost me at least £30, which is a lot of money, as you can probably appreciate. So when I decided to get some more, I wanted to be sure they were the real articles, because I do video, I do photography, and I need things that I can rely on, just like film. In the old days, you know, you could have got Polaroid film, or you could get a Fuji or Kodak. You know, you'd go for the genuine brands rather than the cheapos like Polaroid, if you wanted really good results. If you're a student, obviously cheap film was what you wanted, but that's gone. Those days have gone, and I just wanted to talk about memory cards. Recently I purchased an ADATA memory card here. Thought I'd show you guys. The dude who sold it to me has already refunded me, because basically I challenged him whether this was the real thing. Basically I took the memory card out, took down the serial number, emailed ADATA, sent them some pictures of the packaging, as well as the card, the SD card adapter as well. The SD adapter incidentally stopped working, so I had to use one of my others. But you know, generally when you buy cars you get tons of different ones, different brands, but they all do the same thing. You know, they're really cheap anyway. And ADATA told me the packaging was wrong, the serial numbers didn't match, and in their opinion this was a fake. You know, the guy selling it told me he was absolutely sure it was the genuine thing, the real deal. However, it was counterfeit, and I don't know why eBay is not cracking down on people selling fake things. We all know that getting a cheap iPhone off eBay is dodgy, to say the least. But coming to memory cards, they need to start cracking down on these fake cards. I've bought a fair few different types of cards, and what you need to be sure of is when you buy one, is make sure it's the real thing. So how can you make sure the thing is the real thing? Well, you can do a test on your computer. All you have to do is copy the files. Copy something like a 4 gig file onto an SD card, and then copy it from the SD card back to your computer, and see how quick it is. In general, if you're getting over 13 megabytes per second, it's the real thing. If you're getting something like 5, then it's a fake. So if you look at my description, I'm going to leave a copy of my testing that I've done recently, so you can have a look at the tests I've done. I've done basically 7 tests, ranging from Samsung micro SD cards, SanDisk micro SD cards, as well as the full-size kit cards, as well as comparing them to these copied ones, you know, these fake ones. Generally, if you get a fake one, the capacity of the memory card, this is supposed to be a 32 gigabyte, and according to the system it is, but I don't know if it is because I haven't you know, checked on the system and uploaded 32 gigabytes worth of data onto it. I just basically copied a file which was 4 gigabytes, which was 3 Lord of the Ring films, onto it, and on this it was extremely slow. It was taking like over 10 minutes just to copy 4 gigs. Now for a class 10 32 gigabyte card, it seemed to be taking an awful long time. I did the same test on a SanDisk, and it did it in half the time, and I did it on a genuine Samsung card, and it did it even quicker. So you need to be wary of buying fake ones on eBay. My suggestion would be, if you do buy one, test it on your computer, see how quick your read and write times are, and if it's something around 5 megabytes per second writing or even reading, then you've got a fake card, and then just challenge the buyer in the resolution center and say, listen, this isn't fast enough, this isn't the real deal, and more than likely they'll refund you and ask you to return it. Some buyers will just refund you straight away and let you keep the card. When they do that, you probably know that the card is probably fake anyway, because they're not challenging you. So that was an ADATA memory card. Now I'm going to show you another card. This is a Samsung one. Now, looks genuine enough, doesn't it? However, when I saw the casing a little bit, it sort of lit up, you know, red alert messages in my head, like, this looks fake, could it be fake? And then on the back I thought, well, a lot of it's in Chinese. That looked a bit dubious. I sent an email to Samsung, but they've not replied, and that was over a week ago, so obviously they're not very good at responding to people who are concerned whether they got the real thing or not. Anyway, what I wanted to do is show you guys the packaging. Now, when I get a SanDisk one, normally it's all sealed, you can't get into it whatsoever. You have to cut it with some scissors to get access to it, and you ruin the packaging. But I'm going to show you something which is very interesting. If we open that, you shouldn't really be able to access the memory card just by lifting a bit of plastic. Incidentally, I wanted to show you the ADATA one. There you go. Is it me, or do they look very similar? So how do you spot a fake SD card? Many people would like to know this, and I thought I'd let everyone know about it. Obviously there are videos on YouTube telling you all about it, but I wanted to talk about it. Now, when I got this memory card, it's unlikely, because the camera isn't that good at focusing, you'll be able to see that. But what I can tell you is the lettering of Samsung isn't very clear. Now I do have a red one here, it's in red writing. They're both 32GB ones. I don't know if you can see, but the red one looks a bit clearer to me, and they're almost identical, except the blue one that I've taken out of this packaging isn't very clear, and that's one way of detecting whether it's a fake. If any of the lettering doesn't look very clear, it's likely it is a fake. Also, looking on the back of these SD cards, the lettering, I don't know if you can tell on there, but the lettering on the red one, which is the genuine one, basically the writing is at a different angle. In fact, if I was to read it, you'd have to have one facing you that way and the other facing upwards like that to see the serial numbers. And what I can say is, on the genuine one, the serial numbers are actually quite easy to read. The ones on what I suspect to be fake is very hard to make out. So that's why I think this Samsung one is a fake card. Now, you know, my mum's been saying don't buy ones on eBay. The problem is you can't get branded ones in, say, PC World anymore. I think they sell PNY. I'm not sure who makes them, but it's not a brand I know of. And basically that's what I think is a fake card. So this is my roundup of what is fake and what is not, basically. Don't get me wrong, there are some that you can buy that are genuine on eBay. You know, I bought some nice 32GB Samsung ones that was not in any sort of packaging, but you know, it looks very clear. I've tested it, it runs quick and fast, no problems. So that's my roundup of SD cards. If you're interested, the person I bought this Samsung one off on eBay, his username is the word Peace for Ease 100. So my advice will be to avoid that eBay seller. I did want to talk about some other things I've got here that some of you guys might be interested in. I've got what looks like a mini USB Kingston card thing, really. What's interesting about it is you can slot SD cards into it, and it's basically like having a big thing like this but a lot smaller, and it's got like, well, this has got a 32GB card in it. You know, you can put micro SD cards in. Sorry, I didn't mention that. And that means you've got more capacity than, you know, to get similar sort of capacity, you'd have to get a large USB, and I suspect it will be a lot of money. Certainly a lot more than using a micro SD card in it. And you can pop that on your key ring, carry it about with you. Again, basically it's a Kingston Mini USB memory card, really. So I hope you've enjoyed listening to me talk about the memory cards. Another thing for any of you Mac users out there who use Mac computers but want an SD card, the problem is with a Mac computer is an SD card actually protrudes out of the machine by about half as much, which is a bit annoying when you want to keep the card in there, but if you want to pop your computer into your bag, bit of a problem, isn't it? I found a solution. It's like a mini SD card thing that you can slot into your MacBook Pro, but you can slot in a mini SD card in there, and that only protrudes a tiny bit, maybe 2 mil, out of your machine. Easy enough to slot into a bag. What sort of SD cards are the best out there to get? Well, to be honest, I found Samsung to be the fastest out there. Speeds I was getting was in the range of up to 24 megabytes a second write speed. SanDisk ones, I've got a SanDisk Ultra here, 32 gigabyte. I was getting around 13 megabytes worth of transfer speed, and that's pretty decent. To give you an idea, the fake ones were giving me 5 megabyte, and I was getting stupid amount of writing times, you know, ranging from 16 minutes to 30 minutes, and that's just too long if you just want to write and copy some files across. So I just wanted to do a video just to try and help everyone who wants to get some new SD cards, but like me is concerned that if they get a cheap one off eBay, will it be a fake one, a counterfeit one? You see, the thing is, I filmed some moments of my niece on this Lexar card, and the company who I sent this back to, once they told me it was fake and they couldn't do anything, they also told me they couldn't retrieve any of the data on it at all. So I'd lost all that data on it. So if you want to get something genuine, by all means you can try on eBay, but be careful and you test your cards when you get them. Just test them. Test how fast your read and write times are. You can do that by copying something like a 4 gigabyte file across onto it, and then copying it from that back to your computer and see how long it takes. If you would like to know how to find out about your write and read times, all you need to do is when you're copying your file across, you'll get a little box saying it's copying files, won't you? With a green bar going along until it's finished. Well, just underneath that, there's a drop-down box which gives you a bit more information, and when you press that, it tells you how much data has been transferred across per second, and that's a good indication to find out how quick your card is. There are other software out there that you can get, but if you want more information, just read the description I'll put into the little box underneath this video, and have a read of my tests that I've done, and hopefully that will be helpful. Don't know what more to say, but be careful when you're buying SD cards that they're the real thing, because the last thing you want to do is lose those treasured moments you've recorded, and obviously you've lost everything. One last thing, I wanted to talk about SD card cases. Now I picked up this nice King of Flash card holder. Now it's aluminium, this one. When I got it though, if you can see on there, the lip there, which holds it together, was protruding out here. So when I held it in my hand, it felt like it was stabbing me in the hand. I didn't like it. So what I did was I filed it down a little bit. Now I'm sure you'll be able to find the eBay seller because it was simply called King of Flash. And you can, or just type in SD case, slimline case, whatever. This one holds in each compartment 2 full-size SD cards and 3 mini ones. You know, micro SD cards, that is, sorry. And it's quite handy. So realistically speaking, if you want to carry this around and you want as much storage in it as possible, best thing to do would be to stick an SD adapter in there with a micro SD card like I've got there. That's a SanDisk one. Then you could have 3 full-size ones as well as 6 additional micro SD ones. Now I have obviously purchased Kingston, SanDisk and Samsung micro SD cards, and to be honest, I found the Samsung ones to be the fastest out there. So I just wanted to give you a little look at this nice case. It's quite nice and handy, and you know, if you want to keep your card secure and safe and well protected, it's a little handy thing to have. My idea is I'm just going to stick that in my case if I ever go away, and then I've got lots of cards that I can pop in my camera and I'll never run out of space really. And since I've got many of them, that's what you need really. I think I've covered everything. Just one thing to be careful of is avoid the cheap ones on eBay. The ones that you see starting off at 99p that might be coming from Hong Kong or China, because they'll just be like the fake ones, completely crap. So test them when you get them, and if they're not quick enough, send them back and demand a refund. I would urge people though, if you do find fake ones, to report the buyers to trading standards. Send them a letter